Hi guys, so today we are going to be reading a story, but I want to talk about some things that we're going to be doing first. So, we're going to be talking about story elements. So, what are they? So, what are the different story elements? Elements of a story. So, there's the characters, setting, plot, conflict, and resolution. So, we might be wondering, what are these things? So let's go over it really quick. Our characters are the people or animals who are in our story. So they're going to be the ones who are doing the talking. They're going to be showing different actions. They're going to be kind of the people who are involved in the story. The setting is where our story takes place. Is it inside? Is it at home? Is it at school? Is it at a playground? So it's kind of just where all of the story is happening. The plot is the main plan or story from our readings. So, what is this story about? What was the point of this story? What is it telling us about? The conflict is the problem that happens in our story. So, what went wrong? What's going on with the characters? What's not right? What's a problem happening? And then the resolution is how that problem is solved or fixed. So what did the characters do? What happened in the story that kind of fixed that problem or conflict that we were just talking about? So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to read Pete the Cat and the Missing Cupcakes, and we're going to decide what are the characters, setting, plot, conflict, and resolution from this, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started reading our story. So Pete the Cat and the Missing Cupcakes. Pete and Gus were busy as can be. Uh-oh. There's my mouse. Okay. Pete and Gus were as busy as can be. They were getting ready for the cupcake party. It started at 3. They were making cupcakes for everyone. Pete and Gus counted them just for fun. Okay, so I'm just kind of thinking, I remember the characters are the people or animals involved in our story. And I've seen Pete and Gus twice. So I'm going to go ahead and say that they might be some of our characters, right? So let's keep going. They had 10 when they were done. Oh no, hang on. Some of the cupcakes were gone. They were sure there had been 10. Pete said, maybe we need to count again. Okay, I'm also noticing that they're standing in a kitchen. And I remember that one of our story elements is the setting, and the setting is where the story takes place. So maybe the setting is a kitchen in this case. Let's keep going. They counted the cupcakes lined up straight. Now there were only 8. It looked like someone had taken 2, but who? Pete and Gus did not know what to do. So I'm thinking, didn't we say that the conflict was when there was a problem? So it seems like Pete and Gus are having a problem that their cupcakes are going missing and someone seems to be taking them. Let's see. Just then they found a clue. Gus said, look what I found, sprinkles on the ground. I bet it was Squirrel. She loves sprinkles. Squirrel said, it wasn't me. It couldn't be. I've been at the spelling bee. Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. Okay, so now Squirrel is in our story. So that might be another character because she's getting involved in the story. Okay, let's see. This was too weird. 2 more cupcakes had disappeared. Now there were only 6. Someone must be playing tricks. But who? Pete and Gus did not know what to do. Okay, so I'm thinking, now I'm seeing another place that this is happening, which seems to be outside. So maybe that's another setting that is happening because the story is now taking place, it has taken place in the kitchen and outside. So maybe that's another setting. Just then they found another clue. Okay, so they see some foot tracks. Oh my goodness, we kind of talked about how the conflict is that the cupcakes are going missing and they keep following these clues to try to figure it out. Maybe them following the clues is part of the resolution, which is our fix to these problems, right? Let's keep going. Pete said, I bet it was Alligator. He loves to eat. Alligator said, "It wasn't me. It couldn't be. I've been learning my ABCs." Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. Okay, so now alligator's a part of our story too. So there's another character. Now there were only 4. Someone had taken 2 more, but who? Okay, so that problem's still going on. We still have cupcakes going missing, right? That conflict that the cupcakes are going missing. Pete and Gus did not know what to do. Just then they found another clue. "I bet it was Turtle," said Pete. "I know Turtle loves sweets." Okay, oh, look, there's another character. There's Turtle. So now we have Pete, Gus, Squirrel, Alligator, and Turtle. So there's 5 characters already. Turtle said, "It wasn't me. It couldn't be. I've been swimming in the sea." Uh-oh, more cupcakes are missing. Come and see. Oh, look at that. We see someone back there taking the cupcakes. Let's see if they can find a resolution and find out who this is, who's stealing all of their cupcakes. What on earth was going on? All the cupcakes were now gone. Oh no, that's a big conflict that they're all missing now. Pete and Gus did not know what to do. They started looking for another clue. Okay, so they're looking through these footprints here. That looks like a resolution. Maybe those footprints will lead them to whoever's been taking the cupcakes. They found Grumpy Toad with icing on his face. Pete and Gus have solved the case. "I am so sorry. It was me. I could not stop with just one. I ate and ate till there were none." Oh no, so look at that. We found out our conflict was that the cupcakes were going missing. And they kept trying to resolve it by looking through clues, and they just resolved it because they found out that it was Grumpy Toad, who, by the way, is another character because we now have 6 characters altogether with Grumpy Toad because he's in the story too. Everyone agreed Grumpy Toad would have to miss the fun. He could not come after what he had done. Oh no. Pete said, "But wait, Grumpy Toad made a mistake. This is true. Let's give him a second chance. That's what friends do." Pete told Grumpy Toad they would give him another chance. He was so happy he did a happy dance. Oh, look at that. So there was the problem, another conflict that we could even say that now Grumpy Toad couldn't come to the party. But Pete resolved that, so he fixed the problem with a resolution that we could give Grumpy Toad another chance because everybody makes mistakes, right? The night of the party was so much fun. Grumpy Toad brought more than enough cupcakes for everyone. Oh, look at that. So they all made it to the cupcake party and everybody got to go. So it's a happy ending for everybody. All right, so let's review this here. Kind of talked about it, but I'm just going to show it one more time what my thinking was through this. So the characters, we talked about the characters. There was Pete, Gus, Squirrel, Alligator, Grumpy Toad, and I think that was it. Let's see. And Turtle, right? So we have all those characters because they were all, let's remember, people or animals who were in our story. The setting is where our story takes place. So I saw them in the kitchen, outside somewhere, looking for clues, and finally at the cupcake party. So since we know that all of these things were places where our story took place, I know that that has to be our setting. Then the plot. So remember, this is the main plan, our story from our readings. So the plan was that they wanted to go to a cupcake party and Pete and Gus made cupcakes. So I know that is my plot. Pete and Gus made cupcakes to take to a cupcake party. Then I have the conflict. So the conflict for this is, remember, the problem that happens in our story. So we talked about 2, but I want to talk about the big one. The conflict was that the cupcakes went missing, right? Because that was a big problem. They couldn't just not bring cupcakes to a cupcake party. They needed cupcakes. So that's how I know that's my conflict. The cupcakes kept going missing. The resolution is how our problem is solved. So how did they fix the cupcakes going missing? Well, they kept following clues. They kept asking people who they thought maybe would have taken it until finally they found the footprints led to Grumpy Toad. And remember, we also said a conflict was that now that they knew Grumpy Toad did it, that he couldn't be invited anymore. But another resolution to that was that everybody makes mistakes, so we should let Grumpy Toad come. And then Grumpy Toad brought all the cupcakes, plenty of cupcakes for everyone, right? So that's resolution because now they all get to go to the cupcake party and they all get cupcakes, and Grumpy Toad gets to come too. So just remember that these are our, goodness, I can't even think of the word now. These are all of our story elements, okay? So in every story, there's gonna be characters, there's gonna be setting, there's gonna be plot, conflict, and resolution. And when we think through this, we can figure out each of those elements.